You are not here by chance. The Creator Himself ensured that this message would find you, because He has something urgent to remind your soul of today. Sometimes in life, you feel a strange pull towards someone. It doesn't always make sense logically. You might try to ignore it, walk away, or tell yourself that it's not worth the pain, but deep inside, something keeps whispering, "Don't let go. Don't give up on this person." And when you are spiritually awake, when you've crossed that line where the veil of life gets thinner, these whispers are not just emotions. They are signals, divine nudges, spiritual warnings that come straight from God. The truth is, chosen ones don't love, connect, or attach to others randomly. When your soul recognizes someone deeply, it is because God placed them in your path for a higher purpose. The challenge is that reality often makes this purpose harder to believe. Maybe the person you feel tied to doesn't understand you. Maybe they've hurt you, ignored you, or made you question your worth. Maybe they live in denial while you've been awakened. And in those moments, every human part of you wants to give up. You think, why should I keep trying? Why should I hold on? Maybe I should just cut ties and walk away. But here is where God steps in, quietly but firmly, with His own way of saying, don't you dare give up on them. I put this person in your life for a reason you cannot see yet. Chosen ones often walk with spiritual burdens others can't imagine. Your vision is sharper. You sense energies, patterns, and truths that most people overlook. So when God attaches your heart to someone, even if that person looks like an ordinary connection, you feel the weight of it. You feel it so strongly that it shakes your soul. That's not just coincidence. It's a divine assignment. And when you try to resist it, life itself starts sending you reminders. Dreams, synchronicities, repeated thoughts, even encounters that seem accidental but are too precise to be random. These are warnings. God is saying, don't you dare give up on this person. They are part of your mission. Think back on your own life. How many times have you tried to walk away from someone only to find yourself drawn back, not out of weakness, but because of something much larger than you? You tell yourself you're done, but then you see their name everywhere, hear songs that remind you of them, feel them in your spirit even when they're not around. This is not obsession, it's spiritual alignment. God has wired your journey so that this soul remains connected to you, whether you like it or not, because there's something you are meant to teach, heal, or unlock in each other. The chosen ones carry light, but light is not given just for themselves. It is meant to be shared, to awaken, to heal. And sometimes the person God warns you not to give up on is someone who desperately needs that light, but doesn't even realize it. They may be running from themselves, drowning in illusions, blind to the truth, but your presence, your energy, plants seeds in them that no one else can. You may never see it fully in the moment, but God sees. He knows the end from the beginning. He knows why He asks you to hold on when everything inside you wants to let go. But let's be honest, this path isn't easy. Being spiritually chosen doesn't mean you are superhuman. You still feel pain, disappointment, betrayal, and loneliness. And when that person hurts you, neglects you, or seems uninterested, it feels unbearable. You question yourself. You question God. You wonder if you're delusional. And yet, the warnings come back. The signs don't stop. The connection doesn't fade. Because this is not about comfort. It's about destiny. And destiny never bends to temporary emotions. Imagine this. What if the person you are tempted to give up on is the very one who will be transformed through you? What if your faithfulness, your refusal to abandon them, becomes the bridge God uses to awaken their soul? What if your endurance is not about romantic attachment or human attachment at all, but about playing your part in a divine story bigger than either of you? God often works like this, through relationships that seem impossible, through connections that defy logic, through warnings that make no sense until years later. So, why does God warn chosen ones so strongly about certain people? Because chosen ones are part of a sacred contract. You signed up for this in the spiritual realm long before you were born. Certain souls are tied to yours. Certain people are assignments. And if you abandon them too soon, the story remains unfinished. That doesn't mean you allow abuse, disrespect, or destruction. It means you remain spiritually faithful. You hold the connection in prayer. You carry them in your spirit. You refuse to curse what God has blessed, even if you have to love them from a distance. Sometimes God's warning is not about staying physically present, but about not spiritually disconnecting. He is saying, do not give up on them in your heart. Do not erase them from your prayers. Do not cancel the seed I planted. Because while you may not see change, something is happening in the unseen, and the chosen ones are called to trust the unseen. Faith is your vision, not circumstances. Think of Moses. He didn't see the promised land immediately, but he walked faithfully because God said so. Think of Joseph, betrayed, abandoned, enslaved, yet chosen to save the very people who rejected him. Think of Jesus, who carried the weight of people who doubted and mocked him, but never gave up because his mission was divine. Chosen ones, your life echoes these stories. You are asked to hold on when the world tells you to let go because your endurance is part of heaven's plan. But here's something important. God does not ask you to give up your peace. He does not ask you to sacrifice yourself completely for someone who refuses to change. What he asks is obedience, and obedience looks different in each story. For some, it means staying close. For others, it means stepping back physically but holding them spiritually. For some, it means forgiving again and again. For others, it means trusting God's timing and waiting. But in all cases, the warning is the same. Do not give up on the person God tied to your journey. The truth is, chosen ones are tested not just by pain, but by patience. You are tested by whether you will trust God's voice over your emotions, whether you will trust divine timing over your frustration, whether you will trust destiny over disappointment. Because every time you want to quit, God is asking you, do you trust me enough to keep going? And if you say yes, miracles happen, not instantly, but eventually. So if you are listening to this right now and you feel like giving up on someone, pause. Ask yourself, is this just me, or is this God asking me to hold on? Look at the signs. Look at how this person keeps reappearing in your spirit. Look at how the warnings won't let you go. That's not an accident. That's not your imagination. That is divine alignment. And if you are truly chosen, you cannot run from it. Chosen ones, God's warnings are never random. If he says, do not give up on that person, it is because something greater is at stake. Your life is not ordinary. Your connections are not ordinary. Your love is not ordinary. When God marks someone in your life, it is sealed in heaven, and you may not see the full picture now, but one day you will look back and realize why he asked you to stay. So do not fear the weight of this calling. Do not let the pain trick you into abandoning your mission. Do not let the silence fool you into thinking nothing is happening. Trust the signs. Trust the warnings. Trust God. And remember, you are chosen, and chosen ones never walk by sight. You walk by faith, and faith is what will carry you and that person to the destiny God has written.